Okay, Swaggy and Sassy. What was it that you wanted to show me?
Grandpa, you said the Swaggy chain harnessed the power and spirit of the Negro Leagues, waiting for someone with the passion and determination to unlock it. Something amazing just happened. I think I activated the power. Yes, you should have seen him throw the ball like the legend Satchel Paige.
That's remarkable, Swaggy. You have the opportunity to carry on the legacy of thousands of talented players.
Whoa, I had no idea there were so many.
The Negro Leagues were filled with talent and resilience. It wasn't until recently that over 300 of those players were acknowledged in the Baseball Hall of Fame. There was Willie Brown, known for hitting the home runs. Ben Taylor, known as the best first baseman in the game. And there's Oscar Charleston, fearless, and could steal a base with ease.
Wow, that was amazing, Swaggy!
Just like that, Swaggy. You're embodying the spirit of these legendary players.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Alexander Wyche, CEO, founder, Minority Prospects Incorporated, who I'm here with.
Reggie Hollins, President, COO of Minority Prospects Incorporated.
Man, what's going on, man? Happy to see you today, man. Hopefully everybody good in the snow, especially in the South. I know everybody haven't really seen snow before. When the last time Montgomery had snow, bro?
Man, it's been maybe two or 3 years. And it's coming down heavy here, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the city, man.
We're enjoying it though, and then inside staying warm.
Yeah. We Minority Prospects based in Atlanta, man. So this is our second round of snow. Not too bad though. I'm over here in character, man. I ain't got no snow, man. I'm chilling. My kids got to go to school tomorrow, bro.
Yeah.
Mine
are out, Alex. So I gotta adjust and pivot.
No, for sure, man. Man, we was here to try to inauguration yesterday, and me and Reggie, as we ponder, we talk about baseball in general. Wanted to do a state of Black baseball, man, and talk about how we can improve Black baseball. Answer some questions, some comments, and try to get everything out on the floor, man, as we continue to grow and push in different directions, and try to really change the game, man. So Reg, on your end, man, I wanted just to give a back spiel just a little bit on Minority Prospects, what we do, man. I started off, we started this company 5 years ago as a vision of, that when a lot of the George Floyd, different things happened, COVID hit. So what we wanted to do was stop begging, man, and create our own, man. And once we created this idea of Minority Baseball Prospects, it kind of just took off. It started as a platform, just really videotaping and highlighting players, to 70 events now that we do around the country, adding softball. Shout out to Cam and shout out our staff, man. Shout out to Dez, Ty, Shaquita, Alicia, Messiah. Who I'm missing, Reg?
Harnett, Jaleesa, Tim, the whole crew, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the crew. But when we started this, man, it was a goal to create our own pipeline. We have done that in these 5 years, but for us to continue to grow, man, the goal is to get everybody on one page, man. Everybody got to be on the same page to make this thing grow. I brought in Reggie as the president when we started. We met on different paths of college baseball and me trying to get players into Tuskegee and different things like that. And when you find people with mutual goals and ambitions, you put them around you, man, and try to grow. So on the baseball side, he the brains, man. So again, if you got a business, man, find somebody that do stuff that you can't do. I'll let you do a little history on yourself real quick, Reggie, as we grow.
Oh yeah, man. Like Alex said, in the heart of COVID is where this thing started and festered, man. But before I came on with Alex, man, to really help build this thing, I was at Tuskegee for 14 years, where I built kind of my own platform for the institution and university back to a national respect level. A lot of trials and tribulations through that process. But as I speak with Alex a lot, man, it happened that way for a reason. And those trials and tribulations along the way with coaching at the collegiate level led us to MVP. And so, Alex kind of told me what he was trying to do. And I knew God had a bigger vision for me outside of the college level. I knew he was going to always put me back around the amateur and development process of what goes into, getting these families and kids to the highest capacity, right? Man, once he kind of explained to me what he wanted to do, we're basically structured as like a representation, a navigational system that guides. I know people get caught up in the events, but I just want you guys to just kind of understand we're like that representation for every organization, every family, every community around the country that desires to be better through this game of softball and baseball. And even past the field, what separates us is we serve the complete person, the complete family. And that's where we tie in and have a major relationship with our nonprofit, because there are so many barriers that we faced in this game and in life, period. So we wanted to make sure that we can provide the resources, provide the information, provide the knowledge that was not given. There are plethora of organizations that are doing for the Black community, but there was nothing exclusive for us. And so I tell Alex all the time, it took off. People ask, how did it take off so fast? It's simply because there was a need. Anything in life that has a need is going to take off on its own. So this is a God mission. So I want people to understand God put us on this mission. God had Alex to pick up the phone and call me and connect this thing like this. So the way we move is for solely for purpose, passion, and effective change. And so tonight is just about kind of diving a little bit deeper into who we are as a company, giving you the platform to just kind of ask those questions so you can understand us a little bit more. Because I know you see, like I say, you see the events that are moving. A lot of times we do so much. So we just wanted to kind of slow it down while so many are snowed in and just so many are engaged in tonight. So we can just kind of dive into the real purpose of Minority Prospects and what our vision is and what we do in the state of black baseball.
Yeah, and what we really wanted people to understand is the better the prospects and the kids are getting, the better your program is, the better your high school or whatever you're playing, your travel ball team or whatever it is, the better you are, the better minority baseball and softball prospects is. So you want everybody to be successful, man. I think that's the biggest thing. That's going to lead kind of to what we really want to get into, with just the state of where we at in the world is one thing that I've heard, from a not Black person is the hardest thing is to get Black people to work together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was one of the, it was hurtful when somebody told me that, but it's the truth. You know what I mean? Why isn't it more than one or two all Black travel teams? Right? Is it because Black people we don't want to see others succeed or somebody that succeed higher than us? We want to be the man. So hey, let me get on this other team. Let me create this other team so I can be a man on this team. Why don't we work with more Black organizations? It's tough, man. To partnership. Just in general, people don't want to partner. They feel like you're either going to take over or how can I explain it, Reg? It's more of
It's
not
I think
believing that a Black company of this magnitude can help you elevate and not want nothing from it. If that
absolutely.
makes sense. I think that's the biggest thing that misconception and problem that we have in the Black community is that we don't want to partner. We don't want to do play our role until we get to a higher point to help everybody get to a higher point. Right. I don't think no company in the world have put more people into money pots or giving them opportunity than minority prospects. Just in the country, just in general. If we have a plug, we try to put somebody else on the plug. We don't get the same love, But at the end of the day, that's what we try to do. We say, hey, man, this person right here giving out money. This is what you need to do. Boom, 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 boom. We're giving out gems to give people opportunities. You know what I mean? Oh, we want to receive that back. You know what I mean? Other organizations need to receive that back, right? Again, the better a program in Florida is, the better minority prospects. The better 2 or 3 programs in Georgia is, the better minority prospects. So the more kids and players and organizations do well, the better we're going to get served. And when we can go to these companies like Adidas and Coca-Cola and say, hey, man, this program is doing well. Everything's checking out. So the topic for this is, you guys can chime in. Reggie's gonna jump on it too. Is how can we get Black organizations to work together? You know what I mean?
I wanna touch on something before we open it, Al. Just really being able to recognize organizations that are really here for your well-being. I think that's a thing too. It's so much clutter and falsified things out there that when a organization who truly has your full circumference and interest comes along, it doesn't play out how it should, right? So we can talk about that, just kind of ways to recognize. And one for us, speaking for minority prospects, the way you can recognize is we extend our arms and care past the diamond and the past the diamond for softball and baseball. We have, just to go into an intel story, we have both coached several young men, several young ladies along the way that now work for our company. And I think a lot of people get so caught up into the rankings and being in this event, being in that event, and they're missing the full blown picture that we're here to truly serve the human being past his playing career, her playing career. There's going to come a day where everybody hang those cleats up, and then we're going to see out of those organizations that those larger organizations that have serviced you, who's there to really hold you and care for you and take you to the next level. That's what minority prospects is. And I think people are not seeing that fully. And so I wanted to just kind of address that's why we want to connect. Yes, we want to navigate you to the highest levels that you possibly can go to in baseball and softball, but we want to make sure we nurture and put you back into a situation to be successful in this game once you hang those cleats up.
Yeah, it's bigger than baseball and softball for us. Like Reggie said, at the end of the day, after about 5 or 6 years, either college or pro ball, your life is over with baseball and softball, as in playing. So our goal is to see, hey, how can we better serve our communities and get these people the blueprint to be successful in not just baseball and softball, but life, right? So, we're starting to do conventions like the Life After Baseball and Softball convention, doing MLB All-Star Weekend. It's bigger than baseball and softball, man. We love the showcases. We love the big events. But only way we're going to grow, Minority Prospects was founded and it started as a lane for ourselves, but the ultimate goal was to be able to service our communities around the country and provide job readiness, job security, how to secure the bag, right? How to brand yourself, but also how to put money back into your community, man. I think that's the biggest thing that we're not understanding. Just in general, the Negro Leagues was so big and so important because when they went into a city, everybody ate. The hotels, the bars, the fashion, whatever it was, man. So thinking about that mindset, that's what we wanted to do with Minority Prospects. When we go to a city, say we're going to Montgomery for the Final Four, we want to do a concert where everybody having fun, right? But when we in that concert, we gonna hire local bands. We're gonna local vendors, local sound people, local news, local DJs, local food people, local businesses, and just everything into that community. So when we come into that community, we pour into that community, right? So when we talk about Black people supporting each other in baseball, You know, when we talk about we got 70,000 followers, 20,000 on Facebook, it shouldn't be a reason why every player should have a lot of following, because everybody should be following everybody, right? It shouldn't be a reason why if somebody put up a donation tab, that everybody can donate $1 if we got 10,000 doggone people in the group, right? Because at the end of the day, what we're not understanding, if everybody is successful, everybody eats, the better our people are. Instead of being, a crab in a barrel type mentality where we're not trying to support each other. Hey man, we don't want him to be better than us. We don't want that guy to be better than this guy. You know, we at this point where we at in the world, we got to understand that it's a bigger picture, right? It's a bigger picture as we support each other. The best way individually come out at some point. So Black business, Black organizations, we got to support each other as much as possible, so that we have our own back to stand on. We ain't got to keep begging others to support us. And like Reggie said, that's another conversation right there, is knowing who is there for you and not there for the clout, man. You know, the biggest thing with another thing with just organization, just us as a people, man, somebody can dingle a carrot in our eyes for $1,000 and we'll sell our soul. You know what I mean? For if a Black person say, hey, it's a long-term play, we're gonna give you this, and somebody come in and just try to steal the culture, which they did with baseball and just different things, we go for it. You know what I mean? That's the craziest thing, Reg. We talk on the phone all the time.
Yeah.
Just see how people go for the dingle and the carrot, and right in front of you, people trying to show love to you.
And
You know what I mean?
a perfect segue on a little bit more of a event level. Let's talk about our ground level, for instance,
Yeah.
and why we built that.
Big.
A lot of people see it as a cool camp, hundreds of kids. That's cool, but that's not the ultimate goal. The reason that we structured that ground level that way is so that the community can connect. When we come in, we're coming in for one weekend. That's one, maybe 2 times out of the year, right? That's not enough to sustain development and continue things going. We need it for 11, 12 months. So we decided to make sure that we connect every trainer, every high school coach, every college coach in that community to come and help us run that clinic, so that now the parents and the families can actually experience and know who's there to support them and pour out. So our whole initiative is to put these businesses, these trainers, these programs on our platform so that everyone knows who they are.
Sure.
Everyone understands, Alex, right? That yes, our scouts may give these kids opportunities, but we know that somebody 11 months out of the year is pouring into them. And it's our duty to make sure that we know who's moving around the country so that our families can continue to develop 11 months out of the year. So that's just an example. And then even an extension to that, we make sure that we take the kids and the families to a college game. Because
Yes.
if we aspire to be at the college level or the pro level, we have to attend these games and actually see it with our eyes, or we're never going to understand what we're working towards. So people are missing the big picture. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to take time to explain that ground level because it's full of impact.
Yeah, and it was eye-opening for us on the ground levels. We did 15 cities, and a lot of times I never been to those HBCUs before.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing that we're trying to say is, how the heck you gonna make change if you never been to the area? You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? A lot of times nobody has been in those areas and telling you how to make change, right? Us being there for a weekend, no, we don't know the full scope. But as we connect with those people on the ground, our goal is to see what your problems is and how can we address them, right? So with those ground levels, again, we get a chance to see the trainers, we get a chance to see the kid, they get a chance to touch and feel us, and then we get a chance to put them into a game, man, a HBCU game. Everybody talk about HBCU baseball and what need to be changed or what need to go, but man, y'all ain't going to these games. Y'all ain't supporting the HBCU. So how can you continue to have opinions if you're not going to the games and supporting these people and putting them in a better situation? When we look at, this is my opinion, maybe wrong, but this is my opinion. How can we complain about HBCUs if we're not investing to them? right? Just like Alabama. Yeah, Alabama's getting money off of football and different things like that, but they have alumni that put in big dollars. How are we doing the same thing to the HBCUs, but we're talking like we are? We're complaining, but are we giving back money?
Yeah.
Right? We're gonna let me be transparent with you guys. We're not rich. we don't make a, we don't make a lot of bread, bro.
And again, boy.
I'm sure Reggie and I know me as a teacher, I was making up more money than I am now as a founder CEO. But my life mission and passion was to stop complaining and make freaking change of what's going on, right? So that's why we're doing it. We ain't. You got to think. If you look at the scope of what we do, most of our events are either free or really low cost. So how are we going to make money, right? But as our model grows and we do different things around different things, we're learning, hey, this thing right here can help generate funds where we can pay these people and do different things and continue to grow as a company, because at the end of the day, you need the economic dollar to continue to grow and help more people, right? Shout out to, sponsors that we have, Adidas, shout out to Player Line, shout out to everybody who support the cause of what we do here at Aaron Fun, Danielle. Shout out to CC, man, for making the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, we got a Hall of Famer, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to CC. But thank you to those sponsors that believe in the mission, that have helped support us and other organizations that we recommend to continue to grow. But guys, this ain't a no, we had people tell our nonprofit, like, hey, it's money grab. What money? We ain't making no damn money. What money?
You got to charge to make money.
Yeah, what money? What we making money from? The ground levels are free. We're paying you to go to games for free. It ain't free for us. We're paying people to allow you to get in. When we do these big events, the HBCU game, the All-American game, these different events, man, we ain't getting a jump for free. We're not getting these stadiums for free. Yeah. Houston last year was $25,000.
Yeah.
Right? Ballpark of the Palm Beaches, money.
Transparency.
You know what I mean? Just being honest with you guys, man. Just because we're a black company and we're striving and we're helping out people and giving people free opportunity, we're not getting stuff for free. I don't think we understand that as a culture and as a people, when you're not supporting or you're talking bad or you're not understanding the real scope of what's going on, thinking that people are having millions of dollars and they put, man, we have to pay for everything that we do. Until we got the Adidas deal, everything was paid for. All clothing. Shout out to Kevin. Shout out to Charlie, man. Shout out to Arthur McConaughey, scout for the Texas Rangers, man, who put us onto Adidas, man. It's all about black power and people putting you into better scenarios, man. But going back to those ground levels, it was great to see these HBCUs, Reg, Southern, and man, I haven't been bro.
LSU at the ground level.
Yeah, like I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't never been to these schools, bro. You know what I mean? I played at Albany State. We went around and played. Then I played at Armstrong State. We didn't play HBCUs until we beat up on Savannah State or something like that. You know what I mean? But I ain't get a chance to see these schools, and it's a lot of prestige in these schools, but I ain't never got a chance to see them. So just to see what they need and what's going on, it's disappointing, guys, that we're not doing. We're doing a lot of this, but we're not doing a lot of this. Is spending $1 to give these guys what they need to be successful, but we're gonna complain, right? I can't tell a kid to go to Southern and I look at the Missouri doggone facilities. It's tough, man. We got to support each other. Crenshaw shouldn't have to worry about money. There's too many guys from Southern that doggone got drafted or got good jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, at some point, man. So, for us, we got a chance to look at this stuff, man, and really take it in. That's why we've grown and did other events to try to come back and help. But,
one last thing I wanted to touch on before we open that thing, Alex, because this is important to who we are. I think a lot of times that question comes up, man, how did y'all grow it so fast? Right? So on the surface, Minority Prospects grew in 5 fast years, right?
Yep.
But we're not talking enough about who Alex Wyche was before minority prospects. We're not talking about who Reggie Hollins was and the journey that we had before minority prospects. That's 20 years of failure. That's 20 years of building relationships. That's 20 years of, seeing an inside of an internal side of a high school program, being a teacher, being a collegiate coach, being on different boards in different spaces, understanding how they think and the guys who are navigating this thing, we're experienced and we're not just talking. And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand. We're very experienced when it comes to these issues and knowing how we need to navigate. Everything we do for minority prospects in any meeting, in any setting, is solution based. It's to bring a solution. So, I think the more we open up and be a little bit more transparent about that, Al, and the more these people that are we're serving and the families that we're serving out here and the network we're serving understands that, they'll kind of get behind a little bit more and push a little bit more because we need more help, man.
Yeah,
It's not going to happen without a collaborative effort.
Yeah,
And that's what tonight is about.
Yeah, it's about growth, guys. As we continue to grow and create more initiative and try to support more people, it's all about support. Even as we talk about the prospect, and just in general, I wanted to go over, from regionals to national showcase to All-American games, and the tough part, guys, is not letting everybody be an All-American, right? It's just not being realistic, right? So with our regionals, our goal for our regionals is just to have an opportunity to see as many kids as possible, right? To differentiate, from top level guys to, medium level guys to college guys to guys who just need to do well in high school, right? That's what we're looking at, right? We're trying to see where we can categorize these guys and then move them into different situations, right? I think the biggest thing with our community, we think if a kid not selected to a national or to an All-American game, we're not rocking with them. That's not true. When I built this company, it started with an All-American game, right? It started with CC Son. It started with Andrew Jones. It started with really Tamar and RJ. Right. I came to them. Hey, man, I need you guys. I know it's COVID. We're trying to push these guys down and give you guys an opportunity, man. We know everybody talking about helping out minorities, but we want to do it together. Right. So we can't kill the big event with watered down and with watered down things. Right. The All-American game has to be the best players. Right. So when a best player doesn't come to the All-American game, it dang near hurts the whole community of Black players. Right. Because now I'm sacrificing everything that we have to put on this show for 100+ scouts, GMs, assistant GMs, whatever. Hey, this is the best Black talent in the country. Come see these guys and give them the best opportunity possible. All right. So that mind frame got to be that. Hey, man, I'm not going, out of all things, I can't miss these guys' event because this is for the culture, guys. It's not to benefit minority baseball prospects or not minority softball prospects. It's for the culture of baseball and softball for Black people in general. All right. Thank you to everybody who supported so far, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks all.
It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them.
The Christian Moores and
absolutely.
Thank you to the RJs and Keon that does everything that we asked them to do, man. Shout out to all you guys, man. But it's bigger than that, right? Again, we have to do the best players in the All-American game because that's the representation of minorities around the country, right? So now when they see Keon going crazy, and now Bobby Wooten from get that same look, right? Because hey, man, that might be a hotbed. Why you think Redan was so successful? Redan was so successful because when I went to Redan or scout go to Redan, it's gonna be somebody there. It's gonna be some type of talent. All right. So the biggest thing I want parents and just kids in general to understand is it's not a slight if you don't get an opportunity to play an All-American game. Everybody's not a draft pick. You know, everybody not a Power 5 at this point. Not saying you can't grow into that, but I think the biggest thing that kills black and brown boys is trying to be like the Joneses. You know what I mean? Trying to be like somebody else. It's okay to start somewhere else and try to work up.
Yep.
Maybe some point that's where you're supposed to be at just in general. And maybe you're supposed to be running a company like we are at some point.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, Reg, I just be trying to get them to understand that everybody can't be a pro guy, and don't kill your relationships with other people because you think you're not getting a shot because you think you're a pro guy and you're not a pro guy. Right. So, that's stuff that be on my heart a lot, man, because I do a lot of stuff with the players. That's my thing, is the players. And I love the players. My goal is to create an atmosphere for the players and give them what they want. Hey, man, if I want to have a party that I'm going to start the weekend, that we're going to do to make sure you guys are comfortable to have a good time. That's how we are. Our goal is to make sure this is the best experience and bonding opportunity for kids in general in all our events. But again, we got to always keep the integrity of the event, because the worst thing you want to do is water down the event and they be like, man, that minority baseball event, man, that junk weak. There ain't no talent there. There ain't no players there. We can't pick no players there. You know what I mean? They ain't had no draft guys in 5 years. Why would it be an All-American? Why is it called All-American game? They ain't got some of the top players. So that's the biggest thing, guys. We need everybody to support. If you're a top player, you got to come to the event. Go ahead, Red.
Excuse me, and I think too, what segues off of that is the fact that what happens to those middle tier guys, right?
Yep.
One thing that we want people to understand is, again, goes back, former HBCU coach, over 15 years, made relationships, personal relationships with programs, ADs, coaches. We have a radar from all of the schools around the country, not just HBCUs, but we have a rapport with all of the schools. So just because we have so many instances that, a kid didn't make an All-American game, but does that mean behind the scenes we didn't get him into school for an education and an opportunity on the baseball field and the softball field? No, it doesn't.
That they might not even know about, Red. They might not even know that the coach is calling us.
Yeah.
That'd be the funny part. We're not
another
thing. We're boast and brag about who we help. Right?
Absolutely not.
You get called. If I post a guy today, I'm gonna get 10 or 11 calls or texts from a college and say, who is this guy? I don't tell the guy that I'm talking to this guy. I forgot that Chandler Pollard with the Rangers. He out of high school, he signed with a team from Cali, right? And the team from Cali would just hit me, and I recommended him, and they end up signing him up. He was like, Coach, you got me in the college. I'm like, shit, man, I forgot, man. You know what I mean? I don't think about that. The goal with the dog gonna give you an opportunity. You end up getting drafted anyway. But at the end of the day, what we do is not for clout. It's to give guys an opportunity that may not ever have an opportunity or the experience. As a coach and as a parent, my biggest thing that I want you parents to understand, man. Yeah, the baseball and the chases and the drive to be a professional is fun. But make sure they enjoy it, man. Because at the end of the day, this is what they're gonna remember when they get older. I talk about that all the time when I'm in our parent conferences, man. Make sure the kid sees the moment. Don't think about the next tournament. Don't think about the next thing. A lot of times you guys are in nice places, Florida, Atlanta, whatever it is. Enjoy the moment while you're there. Because at the end of the day, when you get old like us at this point, the only thing you have is to remember, man, you remember when we played here? Remember when we did this at the hotel, man, and all that? Most of the time it never talks about the play. You know what I mean? It's more about the experiences you have. So make sure these kids enjoy this jump, man. Let them enjoy the experience. Don't put too much pressure on you want to put pressure on the play and making sure they're playing well and having fun, but let them have fun while they're playing well.
That's right.
As much as possible.
You want to kind of open the floor, Al?
Yeah, we gonna open the floor, man. I think we talked about HBCU, we talked about different things like that about support, man. We just really want to give everybody a state of baseball, man, is bonding and collaborating together and seeing how we can grow together as an organization, but as people, because we have the numbers, we spend the bread. We just got to spend it with each other.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? We did want to open up the floor for questions. any topic or any question somebody may have that you're going through or about the organization, man, shoot it to us, man. Let us do a little dialogue, man. What the chat have going on? Talk to us, chat.
I saw that. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that, man. The less we chase of money and the more we chase of the actual goal and development, that money follows. So I appreciate those words, man. We totally are on that path, and we'll continue to sacrifice and pour in, pour in. It's all about giving back to the well. So I totally agree with that, man. Appreciate those words.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing we're trying to get organizations like us and under us or around us to understand is don't dang for the carrot for right now success. If your goal is to be long term and successful in your communities, go for the long term and the longevity of success, other than just the quick hitters. These relationships last forever. If you got a relationship with Burger King now, you got to continue to keep that relationship, man, as much as possible, man, because it spreads. So, black organization, we got to do better with doing good business.
We got one from Royal Hobson. I didn't play in an HBCU, so a black kid. So as a black kid, I felt the recognition was harder to get from you guys at a smaller Division II school. You want to?
Yeah, it's tough, guys. We're not a super big organization where we can just cover everybody right now, in which we do try to do. So the biggest thing when you're not represented, you feel like you're not represented by us as much as we should. Push as much content to us as possible, man, so we can continue to promote you guys. Come to an event. Come to a life after baseball and softball. Come to something outside of baseball that we may be doing, so that we can see you and kind of grow with you. But it is tough, man. As we grow, to try to give you guys a bigger platform outside of HBCUs, because HBCUs just need so much support. They took a lot of our time these last, I'm gonna say 4 years, and probably the next 3 or 4, to try to right the wrong and get everything on the right path, on the upward spiral. We do miss some guys, man, and we do apologize, but we do want to continue to grow. Again, as much content and then as much content you can shoot to us, man, the better, so we can promote you.
He had a two-parter there, and I like the second part because it touched on internships. So yes, Royal, we definitely want you to reach out, and I will leave an email for you to send your resume and just your achievements and what you've done in life too, so that we can now incorporate you. That's the one thing that Alex and I make sure that we tell every event that we operate. Any event, any kid that participates in our event, we make sure that they understand that they're always on a interview. And when I say they're always on an interview, we're looking past that field. So of course, scouts, coaches, they want to know about the character. When they call us, they're going to ask about the character. So and the makeup of the guy or young lady. So one thing that we thrive on is watching you, talking to you. We dialogue with you. That's all purpose, right? So we can just kind of see where you are mentally, and give a good recommendation, but also for us. Because again, we are looking for good people. As we grow, as we expand, we're going to need more help. Alex and I cannot be everywhere at one time. We make it look pretty good right now, but please believe that's a tiring thing. So we're going to need like-minded individuals that want to grow inside of this company as well. So yes, I will make sure, Royal, that we connect you to our customer email. Okay, so we can make sure we lock in with you. Okay.
And again, guys, a big thing, what I learned when I was when I was first start coaching and trying to get into professional coaching or college coaching, The biggest way to get our attention is do some stuff on your own, right? If you're in Florida, create your own database and create your own event and push it.
Take the
Real
initiative.
support. You know what I mean? Our biggest thing is trying to see what you're gonna do on your own and collaborating and growing it together. And if that comes to you working with us, great. If that comes for us helping build your program, that's even better. But push on your own. I think that's the biggest advice I can give when you're trying to grow and support and do different things. Create some on your own, and as we see it, that's your resume for us. That's your resume. If we're going to collab and do work or bring you on for us, is what you're doing on your own on your own term.
And also show up. You know,
Yeah.
if you see something in your area, and you see we're doing something in your area or that region, put yourself in position. Show up. You know, that has helped both of us and so many people throughout their journeys and their careers because they position themselves right. That's one of the big things we talked about at our coaches convention. It was two more questions, Al. I'm gonna go back. One was, do we have a showcase for high school seniors, and then a underclassmen showcase?
Yeah. So we'll put out our regional showcase schedules probably this week as we. I think the hardest part of running the company is doggone scheduling because there's so many events that kids have throughout the year, man. We try to schedule them where kids can go to their event and then come to our event and different things like that. So that's the tough part, man, is scheduling and giving you guys the opportunity to really attend everything. But it'll come out this week. Make sure you attend. I know Dez and Jarrell always talk about this. We can't help it we don't see you. That's the hardest part, man. I was looking through photos the other day, and Terrell for Auburn, who was a high draft guy last year, man. He was at our event when he was a sophomore. I'm like, dang, man, that was a long time ago. But the biggest thing, man, is come to the event, man. If you need help, if it is a financial fee, if you need help, contact our nonprofit, Shakita Russo, man. And we I don't think we turned down nobody yet, Reg, on anything.
No,
on anything,
figure it out.
We try to figure it out and put you guys in a better situation, man. We never have. We never turn down a kid. If it's Bahamas or wherever it is, if they can financially support it or do it, man, we always take it on the chin, man, and make sure the kid is successful.
Then the next question was, where do we see HBCUs with all of the initiatives and support in the next 4 to 5 years? I'll start that one. That's from FCF Baseball. What I will say, man, HBCUs are definitely going on the right platform and plane to excel. And not only is it that the support and the resources are getting better, it's better players are pushing to those schools.
For sure.
So the better the players are, the better the program thrives.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, which makes it a little bit more difficult because, again, why is it getting better and why is it pushing down? Is simply because of the portal. The transfer portal is overwhelmed, right? And guys are realizing that, hey, this, genie of a portal is not necessarily what they're thinking. So they're getting trapped into that portal and they're having to find somewhere to go and they're scrambling and it's pushing down. So anytime you have a bottleneck like that, it's going to push down to the lower schools and lower resource schools, I might say, all across the board. So yeah, I see it definitely getting better to answer. I don't know if Alex want to add anything to that.
Yeah, like Reggie said, everything, guys. I think the biggest thing we got to understand is the better the organizations are, the more talent the organization or school has, the better that junk going to be, right? Say if we pushed all our All-Americans into Grambling tomorrow, guess who will be on the map? Grambling. They'll be playing better talent. They'll be winning, different things like that. So the more the better talent goes to HBCUs, the better HBCU is going to be. And then the more we freaking support it as a Black institution and start pumping money into it ourselves, the better it's going to be. The biggest problem with HBCUs at this point, man, it's going to be a big portion of it is bread. It's money, man. At the end of the day, I can't tell if Reggie is an MVP All American. Hard for me to tell him to not go to Georgia to the draft. That's $400, make it $400 to $1 million, or go to college and get $100,000 and go somewhere he's gonna get zero just because it's a cause, right? So it's tough, man. It's a tough world, just in general. But as we support it and push in, I think the better we can make it.
Also, too, pinning off that HBCU question, a lot of the things that Alex and I like to do with this company influences and gets into the administrators at these HBCUs, because again, it's gonna take the administration of the schools, the boards, the athletic directors to want to put more money in there as well, and actually promote and market their programs a little bit more.
Can you talk about that, Reggie, just real quick?
Yeah.
I know we're gonna cut this in a little bit. We don't do this much, but we will moving forward. But why don't people value or institutions value baseball like other sports?
Actually, one more time. I'm sorry.
Why don't presidents and ADs value the baseball programs as much as the football or basketball?
I think because we've been conditioned to think that it's not a revenue sport.
For sure.
I think that's the biggest. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But just with my experience and just seeing how it runs, they don't value you as a revenue sport. So, key example, I was blessed to bring in key partnerships while at Tuskegee. And once those key partnerships from major corporations came in, they now saw me as an asset.
Right.
And so I kind of knew that, I understood that. And I think that really showed me, like, okay, if we can change the mindsets of the administration for them to understand how much baseball how much of a lucrative sport it is. All they have to do is look at the travel industry and look at the rest of the industry, and they'll realize that it's richer than, just as rich as anything moving in basketball and football. And this can be a way to help the school even more. But what it is, they write those programs off as basically a checkoff, man.
But why, Rich? I want you to be honest, man, because we ain't got butts in the seats, man.
Yeah, that's true. We gotta come support, because
man.
Fans are there. That means you charge, and the revenue is pushing back in.
Yeah,
that's why they don't see it.
We're not supporting, man.
Yeah,
Black people, we want to hit. We'll hit a concert, but we're gonna sell out a concert. But Sweat Tournament was in Atlanta, man, for the last 2 years, bro. The turnout was Atlanta Black Mecca, man. It wasn't packed. It wasn't standing room only, man. Georgia Tech hold about 4,000? 5,000, yeah. 5,000, man. They made it the best night. May have had 1,000 people, man. It's ridiculous, man. We're not supporting like we should. I think we sugarcoating the Reds, man. These folks got to support more, man.
You're right. Yeah, we got to.
You know what I mean? I think maybe the SWAC is in Birmingham this year.
Absolutely.
We're teaming up with Black baseball media and Miles, man.
Yeah,
how many butts can we get in the seat? We in New Orleans next week, teaming up with Dillard and Coach. Goddamn, what my dog name?
White.
Rod White, man. To support New Orleans, man. I know it's snowing in New Orleans, man, but who's gonna come out and support all 6 of these teams, man? Get your butts out and support.
Yeah, we got it.
You know what I mean? If not, buy 10 tickets. The tickets ain't high, they $10 maybe at the best. So the best way to support HBCUs and see them continue to go up, man, go out and attend the game. You know what I mean? Put some money into their pocket, man, so it can be a revenue-driven sport, man. Texas ain't got that problem. Georgia Tech ain't got no problem. We talk about why blacks ain't in the game of baseball. Look how many black fans it is. We go to Atlanta, go to the Braves game, may have the best, may have the most black, attendance, but shit, man, out of 40,000 people, 200 blacks, man. Come on, man. We gotta do better, man. Enjoy the game. Baseball is what established this country, man.
Yeah, for
Baseball,
sure.
Jackie Robinson, and color, man. Negro leagues, man. It would help be a cornerstone for, America, man. We got to get back to those, get back to those things, man. The supporting, baseball just in general and softball. You know what I mean? Let's go back to them. What
Yeah,
question?
it was a player question on there, man.
He
wanted
said it was
advice
it was
freshman.
Spencer, man. Shout out to
Yeah, what's up,
shout out
Spencer?
to Kurt Dozier, man. Yeah, when you find good people, man, Ernest Horton, man, Kurt Dozier, my dog, Kurt in Detroit.
Yep.
It's a lot of good organizations. GBSA, man. Shout out to Rob, shout out to Eddie, Greg Goodwin, MVP. When somebody's doing the right thing, man, it's easy to support, man, and continue to grow, man. And those guys know we're 100% behind them, man. But Jordan Spencer, man, as he going to Tuskegee next year, as a freshman, what do you recommend? What is the advice as a freshman going in to play baseball? One thing, I know you're Tuskegee. One thing for me is get bigger and stronger.
Yes.
It's not little boy ball when you get to college, man. You're playing with how the NIL and damn, you're dealing with 24, 25 years old, 23 years olds. You know what I mean? So, you put your mind. You got to start putting your mind frame as say you're Reggie Hollins, right? Head coach of Tuskegee. Who am I gonna play early? Am I gonna play with this transfer that been in college for 2 or 3 years? 23. If my job on the line to win, right? He's bigger, stronger, more experienced. So I'm gonna go with this freshman that need a lot of growth. So my biggest thing for freshmen is come in, be ready to work, be coachable, and live hard, man. You know what I mean? Get bigger and stronger.
No, definitely Al, bigger and stronger, bigger, faster, stronger is the way. But even past that, man, the game is so mental.
For
So you're
sure.
leaving home, right? And this is what I always told the incoming freshmen. This is going to be a different year for you. And I say that because you have no guardianship right over your head. So you're going to have to hold yourself accountable. And that's one of the things that I talk about. Be accountable and understand that the schedule that you're getting ready to face in this college year is going to be stringent and different, right? No matter how much travel ball you played, it's still going to be different because at the same time, guys, you are now in a community and living on campus, which now you have different social effects that come at you. You also have your classwork, man, that you have to balance. You're gonna leave at a 5 a.m., take a travel trip, 2-3 days, you're gone, come back and still gotta go to class, guys. So who's gonna weather that storm? That's the mental mindset that I always made sure that freshmen understood, that this is just gonna be a different feel, a different touch to life in general. You're gonna have to balance everything, man, because it's a lot. It's a lot. You're trying to figure out, your dynamic through your courses. You're trying to balance practice. You're trying to go to this function right here, your social life. So it's always your social life, your academic life, and your baseball life. You have to keep those balanced. I think it's really good to have a good balance. I never told my guys to have more than the other, but at the same time, the social has to be the least amount, because you got to stay focused on the academic and the baseball piece of why you're there. That's what got you there. Don't forget what got you your opportunity to pursue your career at Tuskegee. So that would be my advice, man. Outside of the field and the obvious things, that would be my advice.
Yeah, and last thing on the field part, be a better player, baseball player. That makes sense. Yeah, it's cool to have good exit velo. It's cool to have great arm velo, whatever it is. Be a better player that helps your team win.
Mm-hmm.
If it's time to lay down a bunt, you're able to lay down a bunt. If you're a pitcher, if you can come in and throw strikes and mix pitches, work on that now in your high school season right now, being the best teammate you can be. Damn stats. Well, I ain't say damn stats. Say damn worrying about self-accomplishment, like, my velo is this and I hit 10. Think about what are you doing to help a team win? All right.
Grab the chart.
Yeah. Look at RJ Allman. Vandy, how did he get on the field so dang on early? Right? He played first, he played second, he played short, he played center. He did everything he could to get on the freaking field, and guess what? He hit. Right? Runners on, runner on third, he gonna put the ball in play. Right? Kelsey White at Southern. Goddamn, a buck 103.
Yeah.
I
My boy.
mean, in the 9 hole. But when I talk to other coach, he the hardest guy to get out at Southern because what he gonna put the ball in play. He's the guy that gonna do everything it takes. That's what you want as a winner, as a team, and you trying to win. You want a player like that. They're gonna do everything it takes. Gonna take the ball off his face to try to help your team win. So be a team player and a guy that when the coach sees you, say, man, that guy right there is a winner.
Absolutely.
Right. And like you said, hit, damn hitting, man, at the end of the day.
Yeah,
But
you got to hit.
at the end of the day, if you hit, you're going to play. Yeah.
That's right. Be coachable.
You know what I mean?
Other phase too, Al, learn how to efficiently work. Because I had a lot of freshmen that came in and say, Coach, I'm working hard outside of practice. Like you said, they would go in the cage and they probably hit 200 balls.
For sure.
Of bad habits.
That's the biggest thing, Reg.
It's not translating, right? So you got to be efficient in your work and have a plan with your extra work. Have a plan on what you're working on in the cage. Don't just get in the cage, be efficient in the cage. Yeah. That's what made Alex and I great hitters. I think that's one thing we had. We were efficient in our work ethic.
Yeah.
And so it translated. Make sure you do real game motions in those in your workouts. All of those things, those are tips for me.
And knowing who you are as a hitter, right?
That's right.
Knowing who you are as a hitter. Everybody's not going to do everything great. Some guys never going to be power guys, man. It's okay. Right? It's okay. Chandler Simpson, man. God damn it. So many examples, guys, that you can go and research and see people who may be your stature or pattern your game around, right? It ain't all about power. Chandler Simpson, he gonna lead the country in stolen bases, on base percentage, and batting average.
Right.
That's gonna get him to the big leagues. Do what you do well. If you're a power guy, show power, right? But do what you do well. But now that bad habit jump, man.
Yep.
I was talking to a scout the other day. One of the guys that I go to and talk to all the time about players and just bounce off players and who he like. He was just saying, I'm like, damn, man, this kid did not grow. He didn't grow like I thought he was going to grow as a freshman. I'm like, dang, this kid, I thought he was going to be a big leaguer. You know what I mean? Not a big leaguer, but a draft guy. But he said he worked hard, he do all these things, but he might have been working wrong. You know what I mean? Training the wrong things.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Creating bad habits. And then at the end of the day, guys, the biggest thing for me that sees if a kid elevates is here. Mental. You know what I mean? I know we posted a video with Mark Church and Xavier Curry talking about failure. Who can handle failure? A lot of kids can't handle failure, man. A lot of parents can't handle failure. You know what I mean? I think we had one, Reg, on searching for good nutrition and food and how to gain weight. It's tough because some at a young age, their metabolism growing so fast and moving so fast. It's tough to gain weight, but you got to gain strength, and that's just part of being in the weight room and like Reggie said, doing the right things in the weight room. It's enough social media, guys. We're gonna. And put that on the thing, Reg. I'm gonna write that down.
I got
efficient weight weight training regimen. That's one thing we're doing too, guys. What we're gonna do in these next 2 or 3 months is give educational and fundamental instruction and videos that'll be on this YouTube that you can go back and use as a reference to help build your kids and parents up just in general. So like Thursday, we'll have Marvin Freeman live. We'll talk about pitching, Q&A, what to look for, what are the best ways to throw strike, different things like that. But we're going to create those things so that you can go back and learn. But just from a college standpoint, Reggie, what did you guys do to kind of maintain and build mass? What did you see that worked?
It was a lot of explosive training. Because one thing we understood scientifically is in baseball, we go from 0 to 100 in a matter of seconds, right? So it's always about explosive training, um, less weight, high reps. But there are times that we put mass weight on because again, you're trying to build strength. So more so off season, we would have more weight. In season is to maintain, all right, and keep endurance. So you just kind of have to know during the seasons which type of lifting. And again, that's why it's going to be vital for us to put some examples to really break it down to help you, along with getting some influential nutrition people on
That,
board.
that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. The biggest thing
Are you?
between
Yeah.
a Vandy and another program is they're going to eat the right things. They're going to pound themselves with calories. They're going to have 24-hour nutritionists and food and things like that. So the probably the biggest thing on growing weight and strength is going to be the nutritional side and making sure you feed those muscles after you work out. I think that's the biggest thing, nutrition. So we'll push out some nutritional things. That we recommend that we see work. It may be something from Vandy. It may be something from one of these high programs that they're doing. And we're just going to pass on. That's our goal, man, is to give you the doggone cheat code, man. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give you the cheat code, man. Whatever they doing, we want you to do.
Continue to research on your own as we build. It takes time for us a little bit, but we're gonna get there in an efficient way to where you guys can have a roadmap to success. That's the whole plan. We got a challenge right here. Kicking it with Coach. He said Birmingham will come out in numbers.
I
Wyche.
want to see it. You know who had the most numbers, man. You know the city gonna always, man. We had about 500 at Gresham last year.
He's talking on the coach's side though, Al. He said he wants a clinic there. So
You want the coaches clinic,
yeah, we'll
man.
have to visit that.
So as you think about our mind frame, just in general, guys, as we grow, we're trying to grow the coaches. I think that we didn't talk about that, Reg. We're trying. Our goal in 25 is growing mass, right? Um, it's easy for us to put every top player in the country, which is minority, maybe black. We're gonna say three. We're gonna say on a high end 400 kids, and try to push them to go to D1 Power Fives and get drafted. Right out of that, it may be 50. You know what I mean? 30. What if we had 10,000 kids? Right? That number doesn't do nothing but increase. So our goal is to start growing in mass, right? So the only way to grow in mass is not to do more showcases. The only way we're going to grow in mass is start from the bottom, grow the coaches, and grow our youth leagues back, right? So we got to grow in numbers. You know, how many good high school teams are there that's black, all black in the country?
It's tough.
Is it more than 10? Just being honest.
Tough.
So that's what I'm saying. We got to grow more in droves. When I can go to an APS or a DeKalb or, we're in the Mecca, we're in Atlanta, man. Just giving Atlanta, it's the Mecca, right? When I can go to a game with and do a tournament with 10 black high school teams and they're all competitive and all good, that's when I know that we've grown like we need to. Mm-hmm. But until then, the only way that we can grow in numbers and see that number increase is coaching, guys. How do we plan to grow it? We got to grow the coaches, right? We got to make sure people and the parents, the coaches and the parents are working side by side, especially at a younger age when we talk about Little League, because a lot of times it's the volunteers that helps and grow these baseball players at a young age. We got to create an infrastructure, which we're doing now, and coaching plan where everybody know what the freak going on and how to do it the right way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Baseball, not like football, where you're bigger, faster, stronger, and it'll work, right? Baseball is a game that your infield fundamentals need to be on point to grow, right? Your hitting mechanics need to be on point to grow, right? Your pitching mechanics need to be on point. You got to learn how to pitch, know how your body works, etc., to grow. So the only way we can grow this is by growing the people who's teaching the people what they should be doing. All right. I don't think we put enough emphasis on coaching the coaches and making sure they're in the right situation, in the right scenario to be successful. It ain't just rolling out the ball. It ain't just hitting fun go and throwing BP. Right. It's about putting them in a situation to be successful, that they know what they're talking about, their coaches know what they're talking about, and their parents know what the heck is going on. What about you on that, Red?
Yeah, my end on that, how we're also gonna grow. Yes, the coaches, but we also have to first take care of the youth that are playing, right? And like he's saying, growing those coaches will in return develop those kids, right? Because it's a lot of youth that are playing, they're just not getting developed properly, and they fizzle out. And then also the ones that don't even make it to a certain height, right? Don't even make it to high school baseball because the failure is too tough, right? We're not teaching the mental part of the game enough, and then of course the fundamentals are not coming in the hand. So I think it's also making sure that we develop those kids to withstand the test of time, because baseball is a tough sport. So if we're not teaching them that they're going to fail early with that mentality, and then um, finding ways to succeed inside of the failure, that's where a lot of them run off, and they'll go to, and it's no slight to these sports, they'll go to a easier success rate in basketball, an easier success rate in football. So I think that is a standpoint that will help us grow. And then also what we're doing through our cartoons characters.
Yeah.
And that's reaching people who have no interest in baseball and bringing them back to the pool of baseball. That's how we're going to grow the number, because we're not connecting with the young anymore. And so we've created Swaggy and Sassy to connect with those households and the young,
Great fans. Great
and to
fans.
create fans.
We
Absolutely.
got to make it cool again, and because at the end of the day, on TV, the only thing you see is football and basketball. You're not seeing the Mookie Betts. You're not seeing, man. We should have Michael Harris should be on every billboard in Atlanta. He's a hometown kid, and he played for the Braves. And he's one of the best center fielders in the country.
That's right.
I'm gonna go back to this. That's something the Real Atlanta said. What we're trying to get people to understand is, damn the top players, right? Our baseline got to be better, right? The top player is going to be the top players. Don't worry about the top players. That middle and that bottom tier got to be better.
Them better.
You feel me? When you go to these other programs, that's not black, the bottom tier is okay. They still can throw strikes. They still can doggone hit. They still can catch, right? Our bottom tier is at the floor. Our bad is bad, right? Our good is better, is just as good as everybody in the country. But our bad and our middle tier is really, really bad, right? So we got everybody that step on that field needs to be better, right? Everybody should be fine. That if I'm at a school that don't have any top players, right, the team still should be good. Where I got 4 or 5 pitchers that throw strikes, even if it's 55 or 60 mile per hour, it doesn't matter. They should be able to throw strikes, catch the ball, throw the ball, and hit. Right. So my thing is we have to make our bottom better. Right. Our top need to elevate, our middle need to go to the top, and our bottom got to go to the middle.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Our events focus on the top players for the top events, but our goal is to grow the freaking bottom. The ground level is where we trying to grow the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. So every kid should be able to do fundamental baseball. All right. And that's the biggest thing. We talk about trainers, fake trainers. You got to understand, once a parent understand what it looks like, you got to despair from going there. You got to know what it looked like. Can't go follow the Joneses because some trainer might work for them. Some trainer might work for them, or some might work for them. All right. You got to know what it looks like, if it's right or if it's wrong. Right. So that we're going to have videos on what it looks like, what infield should look like with Luke Collier. Right. A wet pitching Thursday, we have wet pitching should look like with Marvin Freeman. All right. You got to educate yourself as parents, not just spending money. You should be educating yourself and understanding what it really should look like.
Absolutely. And it's not going to be any easy feat, guys. This is going to take time.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's going to take time.
Yeah, it's hard, guys. It ain't easy. It's a lot where we missed. We threw and went over the batter, the batter's eye. But we're here to come back and understand and grow. Um,
That's a good point.
yeah,
The real Atlanta again.
in a rec ball has been a blessing for numbers, but has been the hindrance and growth for a long time,
Yeah.
right? I ain't gonna say travel ball was pretty good. We're gonna talk about that too, Tracy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Give me a second, real quick.
Yep.
Um, travel ball helped us see what baseball in the past, what good baseball should look like, right? But that goes into again coaching. Little league or rec ball shouldn't be a coach that haven't had training on how to be a coach. Shouldn't be a dad that don't know baseball, right? Or don't know fundamentals. Otherwise, the team effort, it should be where we're teaching them what it should look like,
Mhm.
right? And that's the big thing. Anything you got on that, Reg?
Yeah, it's just putting those nationwide systems in place to make sure the education is being taught across the board. Certifications are going out. Now
Yep.
it gives our kids that safe space to develop with the qualified coach.
Yeah.
And again, dads can be a qualified coach when they go through certain systems and certifications to learn those things. So we're not saying you have to be a guru in order to become a better coach in baseball to lead those kids to the next level. We just have to, it's gonna just take us time to get the right support and the right footing to get these systems in place to secure the development of that lower level. Because again, I totally understand it's tough. How can parents distinguish between what a kid is being taught that's wrong and what's right?
Yeah.
That's where it gets convoluted. I
Yeah.
definitely feel your issue
Yeah.
because it's money grabbing, a
Yeah.
lot of it going on.
Yeah, and it is tough, Tracy, like you're saying with baseball, and it's being a harder sport for parents to understand what it looked like. But at the end of the day, we got to educate ourselves on what it do look like, because there's too many people that's out here that's doing it correctly that we can imitate or look and say, hey, this looks right. This is what it should look like.
And you
Um,
can trust us as a company to put those guys at the forefront for you to see.
yeah,
That's one thing I can promise. Now I can't promise you everything that you see on YouTube is
it's
gold.
gonna it's
Not
gonna be correct, or that the trainer that you may use is the right one for you. You gotta this game of development, you have to be selfish at times, right? If that trainer not for you, you gotta keep moving. Nobody controls your destiny but you. I think that's the biggest thing I'm trying to it's the hardest thing for me to get parents and players to understand is, yes, you should have loyalty to people that help you out in the past, but at the end of the day, it's a selfish game, because at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you as a player and a parent. It may be that a player can't play travel ball until his senior year. Who cares? That might be the time that he need to be seen, and then that what may push him over the top. Right. I think a lot of the time we get in situations where we're trying to be like the Joneses, and we push our kids out too soon. It might be one year I'm a freshman in high school, and I don't need to play travel ball for a year. I need to doggone buckle down, get bigger, stronger, figure out what I need to do mentally to be a better player. And then when I'm on the scene, then I'm successful, because it is a thing of being seen too early.
write you off.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. You're right, Charles. Hey, I'm gonna go to 50 million showcases. I'm not being seen. No, they just don't want you.
Yeah.
You're not the person they're looking for. That's the biggest thing I hate, when people come to a showcase and be like, hey, I didn't get anything. Hell no, you ain't get anything because you wasn't there yet, which is okay. That meaning that you just need to
Keep going.
continue to develop and get better. Sometimes people mature later. It may take you the year in college to get there to, where you're at a player where you need to be at. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But again,
Also, too, Al, sometimes it depends. You have to know what the institutions are looking for, because we're not always looking for a third baseman at some point. a lot of times, parents would ask me, hey, how do you recruit your infield? I wanted to be more athletic as a coach in my program, so I recruited shortstops and split them down. So you just kind of got to know the DNA of where you're looking at as well, because recruiting timing is everything, man. So you just kind of got to know. You got to ask those questions. Be inquisitive when you're out talking. Go to the institutions. Get on campus. That's the biggest advice we have. Go get in front of the schools at their camps. Find out. That's another thing we're going to try to help with and make sure that these programs are putting their camps out for you to know the dates, because that's been an issue. But get on the campuses. There's no better look than right in front of them.
Yeah, for sure. It's a method to the madness a lot of time, but it also, again, all of it really depends on who your kid is and who they are in their path. Everybody's path is different. Michael Harris' path was different than Todd Bradley. Todd Bradley's path was different than Lawrence Butler. Everybody was different. I had a kid, Terry Fuller, that was a football guy that didn't really focus in on baseball until his senior year. He didn't play into a PG tournament, into a PG national as a senior. Right? That was his first showcase, and ended up going there, hit a ball 400 feet, and made All-American game and got drafted. Right? We didn't allow him to get seen until he was ready to be seen. You know what I mean? A lot of it takes talent to be seen or to make it to the highest of level. And some of it take luck, and some of it take the right situation. A lot of the time is putting the right people around you and getting in the right situation to really maximize where you're supposed to be. Maximizing where you're supposed to be might be college, might be D2, might be NAI, might be JUCO. That might be your max or your potential. It's just getting the right people around you so that you can maximize your potential and use those experiences that you've learned in baseball and softball and applying them to life and to getting a job, creating your own job, and just being a successful person in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, showcases are meant. Showcases are meant. Showcases are meant. We're not saying being prepared for a showcase. A showcase is meant for people to see you, so that I can find interest in you and then go to your games.
Play.
Yeah, and then it's levels to gamers, right? Perfect game events or big events or All-American games events are important at some time frame, because they want to see how you perform versus high level competition, right? That's the reason why different events are going are mandatory, because they want to see how you're doing against 90 plus velo, right? You may be the best player in the world. You might be the best player in the world versus 82, 81. But if I go to Clemson, I won't never see 82, 81. So they need to see how you're going to do or perform versus high level competition.
That's a great question, because yes, we are building that database.
Yeah.
But again, we have to make sure it is the solid trainers before we put them out to you.
Yeah.
That's part of our ground movement.
Yeah. It's tough, guys. It can't damn stamp everybody, bro. You know what I mean? God dang. But we can give a highly recommended, not saying guess, but opinion on who we think can be successful in teaching the basics for your kid. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you need to move on and find somebody else. It may mean you need to travel somewhere and train, or go somewhere else, or whatever it is. The only thing we can do is approve guys that we've seen that are doing the right things. Who are some good high school coaches to learn from or follow? I'm in the Atlanta area. Shit, man, you got a million. You got the Luke Hoyers. That does it. It really depends. It really depends on your position, right? You got hitting guys that does hitting well. You got pitching guys that does pitching well, and you got infield guys that does infield well. So you got the Lou's, you got the Marquis Grissom's, you got the Marvin Freeman's, You got the Julius
Wow.
Gaines
Julius Gaines. Yep.
that does infield. You got, when you talk about good high school coaches, it's a lot of them in Atlanta, man. You got Dez, you got Matt. You got to go what's suitable to you. But again, if you're talking about trainers, it got to be something specific on what you're trying to grow on. Infield trainer different from outfield trainer. You got Graveyard that does good with outfielders. You got Eric Alonso that does good with pitching, full count baseball. You got to, as you go, you got to learn from, where you're going and what you see and continue to go. You got Joe Austin. Yeah. You got Joe, man, that train goddamn, most of all those black guys that you've seen that's in the big leagues. You got RJ, you got all those guys, man, that have done well, man. So do your own research, and if you need help, you always can lean on us. But we're gonna push. We're gonna push trainers and the right people into it. We'll have something on our website at some point, and see how it goes. Yeah.
Coach coming with the fire, man.
Our goal is the high school showdown. That may be one of my favorite events, the high school showdown we usually do. I stopped it last year just because I wanted to bring in. A scout came one year and was like, "Hey man, we need to grow black high school baseball." I'm like, no shit. We're trying to grow black baseball, you know what I mean? Because you might seen 5 good teams, and then you might seen 2 teams that's not up to par. It's not that they don't have good coaches, it's just that the talent level wasn't there. And once you get to high school, it's a little too late. About growing. You know what I mean? You can grow, but it's tough because you're at an older stage. So now we're going to push more high school, man. And that's one of the reasons why we're saying we got to grow baseball at the bottom level, because my goal is every high school to be solid. You know what I mean? I want every black high school to be solid, right? I ain't going to say they're going to win the state, but I want them to have the mentality that they're going to win the state. They can compete with everybody because they're going to throw strikes. They're going to know how to run bases. They're going to know double cuts. They're going to know bunt coverages. They don't know how to bunt. You know what I mean? Just different things like that, man. Yeah, man. It's 9, and we've been on here a little bit too long. Thursday, 8:15 Eastern, we'll have Marvin Freeman Q&A and questions on pitching, man. That's a recommendation, guys. To grow black baseball in general, we got to produce more pitchers. Reggie, what on a college roster, most of your positions are what?
Yeah, it's pitchers.
But we don't want to pitch. I don't really get that. The most MLB rosters, college rosters. If I go to a travel team, right, most of the time, if it's a high travel team, they already got a shortstop, center fielder, a couple bats. Everybody needs pitching, man. We gotta grow the pitching in our community a little bit more.
And the catchers. Just
And the damn catchers.
The middle of the field is where the pay happens. So pitchers and catchers definitely.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us start off pitching. Not to get long-winded, but a lot of us start off pitching, but we just have to make sure that we keep nurturing and developing. At that position, and just make sure the kids don't fall in love solely with the bat.
And it always to help your team win and be a productive team, everybody needs to pitch, and it don't have to be it don't have to be 90 plus. It's okay to be 75 and 80 and throw strikes and can throw a curveball. Hitting is hard.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We just need guys who can throw strikes out there and get out some innings and hitting hard. That way you got 8 other people on the field. But we do want to, as we close, guys, we got a couple of things that we have coming up. We have our HBCU book as we go into HBCUs that'll come out February the 1st. We do have our book right here, Tales of Swag and Sass, and make sure you cop a copy of it. Make sure you subscribe and like on our YouTube. Our YouTube have our cartoons. Make sure you show your kids the cartoons. It shows the history of the Negro Leagues. our this book right here is going to be something that we're trying to engage into the youth, get them into your schools. Our HBCU book that'll come out in February will be Swaggy and Sassy. Go to different HBCUs and tell a little bit of the history of the HBCUs, which is cool. Again, we're trying to use this cartoon as an opportunity to, one, teach education, but also grow our fan base of making baseball cool again, man. Giving somebody some type of character that they can look up to and feel like, hey, man, I want to be Swaggy, man, a cool baseball player that's smart, energetic, and trying to take over the world, man. So make sure you follow and support. The more you support us, the more we can give back to you guys. Again, I can't stress that enough. The more you support us, the more we can support you guys. So make sure you like and subscribe and send this YouTube. Make sure I'm going to put out a flyer for Marvin Freeman on Thursday. I'm going to do about 5 pre-questions before we get on the tab. So think of some questions, man, you want to ask Marvin Freeman, man, because, again, we're trying to grow pitchers. And then last word, Reg.
No, man, I just want to thank everybody for taking the time, because this is necessary. The dialogue, I saw a lot of you appreciative, man. We appreciate you guys and your intel and your transparency as well. So we'll keep fighting, man, for our communities and making it better. I promise you. So just continue to support us and follow everything that we do, and we'll continue to advance what we do for the game of baseball.
Yeah, for sure, man. Again, man, we appreciate y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, share, like, and subscribe at MVP Takeover, at MSP Takeover on Instagram and all social media platforms, man. Again, appreciate the conversation. We'll see you guys Thursday.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Okay, Swaggy and Sassy, what was it that you wanted to show me?
Grandpa, you said the Swaggy chain harnessed the power and spirit of the Negro Leagues, waiting for someone with the passion and determination to unlock it. Something amazing just happened. I think I activated the power.
Yes, you should have seen him throw the ball like the legend Satchel Paige.
That's remarkable, Swaggy. You have the opportunity to carry on the legacy of thousands of talented players.
Whoa, I had no idea there were so many.
The Negro Leagues were filled with talent and resilience. It wasn't until recently that over 300 of those players were acknowledged in the Baseball Hall of Fame. There was Willie Brown, known for hitting the home runs. Ben Taylor, known as the best first baseman in the game. And there's Oscar Charleston, fearless, and can steal a base with ease.
Wow, that was amazing, Swaggy.
Just like that, Swaggy. You're embodying the spirit of these legendary players.